let's get back to it. Question 8. Mutant fruit flies. Why do textbooks use fruit flies with an extra pair of wings as evidence that DNA mutations can supply raw materials for evolution, even though the extra wings have no muscles and these disabled mutants cannot survive outside the laboratory? The fruit fly, or Drosophila, is commonly used by scientists to observe evolution by mutation. Because its lifespan is only 2 weeks long, you can witness dozens of generations in a relatively short time frame. If you watch them long enough, you can see flies that have white eyes instead of red, legs growing out of their face instead of antenna, and even create a new species that doesn't reproduce with the original population. Other things that Drosophila have been able to do is live for 3 months. That will be like a human being living for 240 years. And the one that he's mentioning here, grow 4 fully formed wings instead of just 2. Now, contrary to what he said, these wings are not entirely new appendages. They're actually mutations caused by the 2 small wing buds indicated by the arrows in this photo, growing into fully formed wings instead of just those buds. This is called an atavism. A little piece of DNA that still codes for wings is hidden in the Drosophila, and a mutation in one of the stop codons causes them to develop into wings instead of the more modern buds. Why does this happen? Because the Drosophila's ancestors had 4 wings for flight, such as the dragonfly pictured here. Dragonflies are among the more primitive of the winged insects, and many species cannot fold their wings back, so they can't walk very well, nor can they burrow. Of course, most modern dragonflies live in areas where they don't need to do either of those things, so they haven't had to change. But other flying insects have found lots of other things to do with those 2 extra wings. Beetles, for example, have evolved 1 pair into a shell capable of protecting the other pair, which is still used for flying. But it still technically has 4 wings, just as the Drosophila also has 4 wing-like organs. It's just that 2 of them have become small buds for balancing. And oh yeah, how he said those wings have no muscles? They actually do. It's just that they're muscles intended for moving tiny little buds, and therefore not strong enough to flap fully formed wings. And oh yeah, remember those pictures of the flies with legs growing out of their faces? That's an atavism too. It harkens back to the days when insects had more than just 6 legs, and in fact, all the insect's wings, antenna, and many other parts are actually modified leg parts. The same can be said for lobster and crab claws. They were also once simple jointed legs, as seen on this millipede here. Question 9. Human origins. Why are artist drawings of ape-like humans used to justify materialistic claims that we are just animals and our existence is a mere accident, when fossil experts cannot even agree on who our supposed ancestors were or what they looked like? Well, first of all, by his logic, we don't even really know what the Tyrannosaurus rex looked like. As for his crack about the materialistic claim of us just being animals, tell me, are you an organism that breathes oxygen, consumes protein, sugars, and other nutrients to grow and replicate yourself, and is warm-blooded and cares for your young? Well then, congratulations, you are an animal. It's not to say that you're some kind of feral beast, but you are an animal. Furthermore, the decision that human beings are primates was decided almost 100 years before Charles Darwin even came onto the scene. Seen here with a human standing next to a gorilla, standing next to a chimpanzee, standing next to an orangutan, standing next to a gibbon. As for his claims of models of ape-like humans being made by artists, is he referring to something like this? Or like this? These are scientific models that are constructed based on our knowledge of anatomy and the fossils that we have discovered. We don't simply draw them up with our imaginations as if we're making up cartoon characters. And who says we don't know what our fossil ancestors were? We have a whole big list of fossil hominids that have been discovered and named, and we've pretty much been able to figure out what most of them look like, such as Sahelanthropus ticadensis, Aurorin fergenesis, Kenyanthropus platyops, Australopithecus afarensis, and we have samples of male and female in this case, Australopithecus africanus, Homo floresiensis, Homo georgicus, and many more. Forgive my pronunciation for the past names. They're very long and complicated. I don't speak Latin, and I'm reading them off a script. I never actually heard them said to me. Is the fossil record perfect? No. Do we have absolutely no idea what order these fossils came in and how they might be ancestral to us? No. We actually do have a pretty good idea. Our tree, as you can see by the dashed lines, our tree isn't perfectly constructed, but it's far from us having no idea. It's a learning process. Just because we don't know all the answers now doesn't mean we'll never know them. Question 10. Evolution a fact? Why are we told that Darwin's theory of evolution is a scientific fact, even though many of its claims are based on misrepresentations of the fact? Alright, technically I don't even have to answer this question because I have clearly shown in the previous 9 questions that every single misrepresentation he claimed was in fact just his failure to understand how they actually worked. But the theory of evolution is not a fact. It is a theory. A theory is a testable model of the manner of interaction of a set of natural phenomena capable of predicting future occurrences or observations of the same kind and capable of being tested through experiment or otherwise verified through empirical observation, which is exactly what evolution is, if you'll remember my Drosophila new species diagram that I showed a couple of minutes back. Facts are a dime a dozen. They are merely something that can be verified according to an established standard of evaluations. An example of a fact is an apple dropped on Earth has been observed to fall towards the center of the planet. The theory used to describe and explain this behavior is Newton's theory of universal gravitation. You see the difference between a theory and a fact? The fact of the matter is that evolution has not been getting by misrepresenting facts. It has been getting by truly explaining facts. It is in fact intelligent design that limps along by misrepresenting facts and denying evidence. And to claim otherwise is to be academically dishonest. Thank you all for watching.